Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Matters That Matter. I'm Simran and I'm in a conversation with my mentor, Susie Singh. Susie, today I want to discuss with you issues related to self esteem. People who struggle with a low self esteem know that it can be a crippling experience to struggle with something like that. So, the first question I want to ask you is what causes low self esteem? Why are there some people who struggle with this?
So the word esteem means to value or to honor yourself. And I think it's important for us to understand how we learn to value ourselves. The first
Hmm.
way of valuing yourself is to actually achieve or accomplish something that is challenging.
Right.
Think of the first time a child starts learning how to walk, the first few footsteps. And that is this feeling, something that I couldn't do until yesterday because I was crawling. I'm now right up on my toes and I'm able to walk around. And that is the feeling of learning to value. The child learns to value himself.
Yeah.
So any difficult task that one accomplishes, and when we say difficult, we're not referring to climbing Mount Everest. We're talking in our
Hmm.
daily routine lives, doing the simple things that give us a sense of achievement, a sense of high. Now,
Right.
even finishing a crossword puzzle, when you finished it, there is a sense of yay, I did it. So that
Hmm.
I can do it. The can do feeling is what
Yeah.
builds your self-esteem. It's your idea
Hmm.
of I can do this.
Hmm.
The second thing that helps us learn value of ourselves is when people give their attention to us, they invest their attention in us, either to teach us or to guide us, help us learn something, or to support us or comfort us when we're going through a difficult experience. That attention gives us the feeling that I am worthy of receiving this attention and support. Someone
Yeah.
or people care about me. And it's
Hmm.
really important when this attention comes from people whom we value, because it is a reciprocation or a mirroring of I value you and I know you value me because you are investing your attention in me. And this
Hmm.
mirroring of or honoring each other,
Yeah.
it allows myself to believe in me. So I am worthy of attention and I can do it. These two things. And the third
Right.
is building over a period of time a healthy sense of self, which
Hmm.
we develop when we are encouraged, when we are given support, when we are inspired, when we are told, when we have a small failure, like we can't complete the jigsaw puzzle, and someone you love or someone who is important to you will come and say, never mind, you'll win in the next round. You start
Right. Yeah.
believing that I am capable of doing this. I may not have
Hmm.
accomplished it right now, but
Yeah.
the person I believe in
Hmm.
believes that I am able to do it or I can do it if I invest more, maybe time, practice, effort, attention, whatever. So the fact
Right.
that somebody believes that I can do this again builds my own esteem or my own
Hmm.
value in myself. But imagine
Hmm.
now if the opposite of this were to happen. If every
Right.
time when I tried to do something or to accomplish something or approached a difficult task, if I was criticized, if I was humiliated, if I was shamed, if I was run
Hmm.
down,
Hmm.
what would my belief about myself or my value become? Let's
Hmm.
say, you have a boy who is poor at maths. And every time he brings home a report card with low grades in math or he missed an error in a math sum, and his father turns around and spanks him and says, you can't even add, you're going to make a lousy businessman. You
Yeah.
will never be able to take care of your money. And this boy
Hmm.
grows up and wonders why he is struggling.
Hmm.
He's never able to make a profit in his business. Somewhere at the back of his mind, We have this program which the father unknowingly embedded in him by telling him you're going to make a lousy businessman. Now, when it comes to business or doing business or making profits, this person's belief in himself, this person's value of himself is very low. I don't think I can do it. So
Right.
his can do energy has been stifled or squashed. In fact, his belief becomes, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we start creating these barriers or these limitations. We start setting these limitations of the things that we are allowed to do, that are right for us to do, that we cannot do, that we don't have the capacity or the capability to excel in. And they become barriers to not just our self-esteem, but thereafter to our success too. And of course, there is a direct correlation, because if I don't, every time I don't succeed, it is going to further reduce my self-esteem or the fact that it's going to reduce my value in my own eyes. The second factor, which is when we don't receive the attention, that too can lead to poor self-esteem. So let's say for some reason a child has not been provided the kind of physical or emotional support or attention that they need and deserve. This
Right.
child can, if there is a sick parent, let's say the mother is ailing or sick, or one of the parents died, or the parents were they had such a difficult relationship that they were fighting and quarreling all the time. So obviously they didn't have the time to be lovingly present for their children
Yeah.
and give them their emotional attention. Now, in those cases, the child starts believing that I am not worthy of attention. And
Yeah.
going forward, this child is going to be very shy of asking for support or help where it is required. And they find it difficult to collaborate on projects. They're going to find it difficult to, they think asking for help is going to get them into trouble, or they'll be reprimanded for asking for help. And these become, again, boundaries or limitations to their success that they set, and that directly limits their self-esteem. There could be a third reason where a child is, let's say, sexually abused in childhood, or something humiliating happened to that child. Let's say this child, I've heard of cases where when they're very young, they're in class nursery or something, they wet their pants in a classroom, and the whole classroom, everybody laughed at them.
Yeah.
Or there is a person who, let's say, did something terrible himself. Maybe he abused somebody, and feels terribly guilty or ashamed of his unconscious behavior in childhood. Now, this person will constantly tell himself, I am bad, or
Yeah.
something is wrong with me, that is why the whole world laughs at me. And they will want to hide, and they will never, never want to step out there into the world with confidence, because the confidence is lying shattered in childhood itself.
Right.
Belief that I am bad or there is something wrong with me is so large and overwhelming that it prevents them from taking any healthy risks in the world to achieve the respect of others. And when someone has been sexually abused, that I was referring to a little earlier,
Yeah.
that child, instead of having the cognition to understand that they did something bad to me, how their
Yeah.
mind relates it to them is that I am bad, which is why this happened to me. Now they go through life with very, very poor self-esteem, because the background music in their head is always, I am bad, I am wrong. So obviously, if they don't value themselves, they can't present themselves in the world, maybe in their workspaces or in their relationships, as people who believe in their goodness. And they'll be very quick to run themselves down, also to discredit themselves, to not make those confident moves, not speak up in meetings perhaps, because they believe that they are wrong and they're bad. So as you can see, your self-esteem, wherever it is on that scale, has its roots in your past. And to
Yeah.
be able to build self-esteem today, it is very, very important to understand where your self-esteem originally was lost, so that you can
Hmm.
actually retrieve that lost self-esteem from there. Because so many times, people they'll watch all of these sort of videos and self-help books they'll read, and they'll say, but I tried everything that's mentioned there and it still doesn't
Hmm.
feel, I mean, I can accomplish one thing after another, or I can try doing many things, but I still don't feel good about myself. And I tell
Yeah.
them, because you're working very hard in the present, but there is
Hmm.
something that's in your past that also needs your attention, which is why this is a two-part video, and we are talking about where the problem is stemming from that you also need to
Yeah.
address. And then, in
Hmm.
addition to that, what are the steps that you'll have to take going forward to be able to reconstruct or rebuild your self esteem?
Right. So, as I understand it, I think the development of a sense of self happens in our childhood, right? And so, our relationship with our primary caregivers becomes extremely important on how we see ourselves, what is
Yes,
mirrored back to us. That's exactly what you said. Okay,
yes.
so second question I would like to ask you is, what are some of the symptoms in people that can give us an idea of them having a low self esteem? How does it manifest in our
Yeah.
daily lives?
So the first thing is, of course, that they lack confidence, and they they may want to shy away or to hide. So if they are in social gatherings, they don't like to stick out.
Mm,
Like people who feel that their value is, or their esteem is not enough because they've been body shamed. They
mm,
may be they may be a normal body weight, but they'll still hide behind others in their photographs because they want to be seen as half their body size. So that
yeah.
hiding, that not having the confidence to own your body and to be out there, that confidence is lacking in them. If they're in a meeting, they will keep quiet, even though they may have some brilliant ideas or points to make, but they will
Yeah.
keep quiet because they're scared to be heard. And
Mm,
they tend to be very confrontation averse. They don't like to get into a confrontation because either they've already decided for themselves that I am wrong, or they have
mm,
decided that who's going to be one, nobody's going to give me attention or want to hear what I say. And
mm,
then obviously not they don't go into leadership roles because they are not able to express what's inside of them and nobody can read their minds. There may be others who
mm,
have a problem with their own self-respect, and they will, when they are with people, they will tend to keep running themselves down, or they will not believe in the things that they do. They'll do them half-heartedly. They are not able, they don't achieve the success because they take 4 steps forward and 10 steps back. So they
mm,
can't they can't finish projects. They start things very well and they're not able to complete them because they're so terrified that if I finish this job and I'm criticized for what I have done, then
yeah.
it's safer for me not to have done this job anyway. And that is where a lot of procrastinators come in. They're procrastinating because they
Right.
have low self-esteem.
Mm,
They also have difficulty for forming authentic relationships because they tend to have a very, very different social mask that they wear. So they like to project a very different image of themselves. And they don't want people to really get to know because they're always worried about, if this person really discovers who I am, then they are not going to be my friend, or they'll leave me and go away. And that thing horrifies them. So they live a relationship of pretense for a fairly long time until that mask
mm,
drops. And if something happens, they blame themselves for it. So they have trouble forming healthy relationships also.
yeah.
These are some of there are many more symptoms, of course, that afflict them.
Mm,
But these are just
mm,
a variety of symptoms that you'll see in people who suffer from low self-esteem.
right. So I hope this video helps everyone who thinks that they are struggling with self-esteem. Um, with the examples given in this video, I hope you're able to recognize if these are some of the symptoms that you see in yourself or somebody in your lives. Watch out for part 2 of this video where we discuss specific steps on how to build your self esteem. If you find this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.